It's going to be kind of offset by Shen, but Shen's ultimate is a bit longer, and Twisted Fate will be able to get off more ganks in that amount of time. So I think it's really up to the junglers. Whenever I'm jungling and I'm against someone with a big global presence like that, I always take my pressure to the person with the global presence. So if you're against Twisted Fate, you go at Twisted Fate, you gank his lane instead of ganking a different lane, because if you gank a different lane, he'll show up and change the numbers, but if you gank him, nobody's going to be joining him.
Yeah, and of course, it's going to be an interesting situation because Jarvan is a great long-range ganker. You can always have Nick Wu show up as well.
A little truce there between Smithy and MIA right there. They don't decide to trade any blows. They just know that each other are there, and they let him get the ward off.
Yeah, a couple of defensive wards there. Muffin Cutie watching his own Lizard buff. A little bit scared on the opener there. Of course, they warded down on the river as well. And an early pink ward, or sorry, an aggressive ward, I should say. But an early pink ward here by Complexity, putting a little bit more control over their own Wraith. The thing is, I don't think they know that Muffin Cutie also warded the Lizard, unless they counted the wards on the way out. So there's a bit of vision there that maybe they're not aware of just yet.
Yeah, they did sneak that one in there, and that is actually going to be a huge tip-off because Loud Immortus likes to make his ganks happen early and often. As soon as he picks up that red buff, they'll know which way he's going, and so they can alert either top or bottom lane.
And again, we saw
in middle.
Yeah, of course. And of course, another vision ward coming in from Vulcan, keeping their own jungle rather safe. We saw that really in Dignitas versus Curse as well. Just so many vision wards being thrown out there to keep the lane safe. Complexity starting off on the Wolves, so Loud Immortus.
A late blue invade, maybe, here from Vulcan?
Oh, yeah, they are grouped up. I mean, it's going to be, what, like a 2-on-3 right here. Vulcan moving their way forward, Muffin Cutie in the front, Smithy right behind. There's initiation that has been started. What are they going to go for? There is the ward. They get the pulverize up into the air. Look at the damage on Loud Immortus. He's normally targeted out by most of these teams. Now they find Nick Wu. Damage onto him. He's not really going to go down. There's no crowd control. Chuper waiting around, but there's the ward actually. Who's going to get the smite? And it's going to go to Smithy on a basic attack. A great pickup there. Loud Immortus burned his smite on it. He smote too early.
You could definitely see the smite come out really early. The little steam particles that kind of come off Loud Immortus. And Smithy didn't even have to use his, like he just said. He wasn't expecting a smite that early and just grabs it with an auto attack. So he'll be able to pick up his red really quickly. It's basically like they gave Smithy a smiteless leash.
Yeah, we saw the same thing in GGU versus TSM where the exact same mistake where Nintendude smote just a second early in the basic attack from Odd1, picked that one up, and then he had to go and run to his Lizard buff and kill it without smite. Whereas Smithy has pretty much everything.
Yeah, so that's a big hindrance on Loud Immortus' jungle, so they're going to send Taric over there to help him with his red buff, since not only did he was he denied of the experience from his blue buff, but he doesn't have smite to take down this red either, and that leaves Ezreal up there to solo this Psycho Sid.
Yeah, and of course you're seeing kind of the repercussions of these lane swaps. Look how much damage Nick Wu has taken. Level 1, not much health left, down to 2 potions. Started with about 6 or so, and is already kind of dripping with damage. Smithy grabbing his own blue buff, but he's just completely saved. Early lane's really going in Vulcan's favor.
Yeah, we talked about it so much, how the beginning games were all about early pushing on these 2-versus-1 lanes, and since Taric had to go help Loud Immortus with that red, it took a lot of pressure off of that top turret, and this bottom one is going to be falling a lot earlier, it looks like.
Yeah, it's down to 2/3 right now, and Vulcan are really showing no signs of taking damage. Those normal 3-on-1 tower dives we see most often, not even happening here because of how slow Loud Immortus' jungle was. And Smithy now even just counter-jungling in the face of a ward even, just stealing away those Wraiths. Chuper taking a bunch of pain, Mancloud putting out so much damage onto him.
And I really like Elise as a 2-versus-1 laner. Oh, Smithy does get it.
Knock up, is it going to be enough? The Moonfall, yes, First Blood Lizard buff. Smithy finds that one and just survives in the face of minions.
He was walking pretty slow out of that tower range, but not one more shot, and he'll be fine. A clean First Blood. They also got his flash without Minatory Cloud having to use his flash, so that is a huge advantage for this mid lane. TF is amazing at setting up ganks. If he just pulls a gold card, flashes in anytime he wants onto Chuper, then that could be another repeat gank for Smithy.
And that's going to be a scary situation to be in when you are Chuper because, yeah, dying early on. I mean, Diana, right, is so assassin-y and kind of wants to start those fights. Azuna, we can see now in the bottom lane himself, is, again, kind of zoning out Nick Wu. Nick Wu only at 8 minions, not a very large number for himself. Azuna 29 doing much better. The turret, again, just taking pressure.
Yeah, so I talked about taking the pressure to the lane with the global movement spell, but Chuper was forced to take teleport to try and combat TF's early gank. Now that he's behind and he doesn't have flash, that's not really going to work because Mandatory Cloud can shove this lane over and over. And like I said, if Smithy comes by, he's always got that flash in his pocket as we have another 3-on-1 tower secure.
There we go. Tower is secured 5.5 minutes in. That clever ward there in the tri-brush spotted that gank out, knew it was coming. So Nick is going to be safe here. But the early vision ward, we saw that a little while ago actually from Marn actually, where they had the early vision ward and it started soloing Dragon. Smithy though, he's losing this one-on-one. He needs some help.
Yeah,
he's gonna get the help, but
losing the one-on-one with Dragon, he's not quite strong enough yet. He does get the help. They decide that Psycho Sid, because he got that free time, just 1v1 heads up with Ezreal, he's not under enough pressure for them to have to switch this early, and they take the Dragon, then can pull out the switch and just secure that global lead. Not only did they get the turret, but that's the extra 1,000 from Dragon as well.
And that's built themselves a 2,500 gold lead at only 6 minutes in. The Vulcan here in match number 10 of the day are doing just amazingly right here. Muffin said they were a higher tier team. They're certainly looking like it right now. Only one kill, but still, like, the moves they're making are looking top class right now.
Yeah, they're playing it perfectly. If you kind of follow it back like a row of dominoes, it all stems from Loudamortis missing that smite on his own blue buff, getting behind, forcing Taric to come. As we hear, Taric gets engaged on a little bit.
TF Volt comes through, they land the perfect stun on the Brunch Shoe, headbutt pulverized, gold card on MIA. Here comes Loudamortis, here comes Chuper as well, an all-out brawl underneath the turret. They've picked up the kill onto MIA. Zuna not in a good place. Can Loudamortis find something? He's into the brush, he's trying to hide himself away. There comes the ult from Shen. Brunch Shoe finds Zuna. Brunch Shoe finds a lot of pain onto himself. Psycho Sid lands a stun, but not enough damage. He's still alive. Chuper getting a lot. Zuna finds one back on Loudamortis. Nick Wu still in the middle, finds Buff and Cutie. Nick Wu trying to run away, low on health, he flashes, but here comes Smithy. He finds one. It's now Nick Wu taking damage. ManCloud finds that one for himself. Smithy though still in the mix, trying to knock Chuper into the air. Not going to get much out of that one. Wow, a lot of kills happened there.
I guess we can call that a 5-on-5 fight because everyone used globals to get up there and they all ended up brawling up top, but that was just very hectic. They do get seen out. Nice little poke from Chuper there to stop the backs.
That was a 4 for 3 if I'm not mistaken overall, so it was a +1 kill lead for Vulcan off of that battle. Everyone top lane at 7 minutes though, that is a bit rare.
That is a bit rare. We have a teleport and a Shen ultimate on the same team. Those are global utility spells, but they're on such a long cooldown that TF is now going to have the advantage because his Destiny will come right back up and his next gank will be uncontested pretty much.
Yeah, he doesn't have much more to wait on that one. Only 60 seconds on Destiny. That'll be a fun one for him. Nick Wu on a much larger timer. Loudamortis, we'll see if he can get his own blue buff this time around. No one's around to steal it. You never know.
Yeah, he might miss smite that and somebody come into auto attack. That could be bad.
I mean, he did it on purpose though. Chuper grabbed that one on Diana. Yeah, so at least he meant to give it away this time.
So we keep a stat how many times Loud has hit his blue buff smite.
Aww.
I'm sorry, we're just being mean now.
I love you, Loudamortis. You're an amazing player. Please don't hit me.
That also, Shen was able to pick up a Giant's Belt off of that last fight, and he has skipped the boots. He doesn't really need the movement right now. There's not too much pressure from Psycho Sid, and we see Loudamortis down here camping with him. So he's got a red pot on Nick Wu, and they really want to bait this out, but the spider goes right into the bushes and seeks out Loud.
Yeah, so he's pretty safe right there. You can see actually just the amount of aggression from Vulcan. Twisted Fate had just put a ward down on that brush. Smithy said, you know what, I'm pretty safe, and we just saw Jarvan at the bottom lane, so he can't get up here in time. This is our Lizard buff. An unfortunate turn of events for Complexity, but a great adaptation by Vulcan. Oh, he's down. Let's grab something else.
Yeah, they're continuing to put pressure on Loudamortis jungle, and look at that. Mandatory Cloud goes all the way up to this top bush because they know that Jarvan was in the bottom. There's nothing really here for Loudamortis to answer with except some rays, and they're going to gank top.
And there we go, the pressure on the Brunch Shoe. No summon is up for him. Easy kill pickup. Smithy says thank you very much on a killing spree himself. 30 minions, 3-0-2, and pressure on the turret.
Yep, there's that Destiny cooldown taking effect right there. Twisted Fate gets to come in. Nobody else gets to join the party from Complexity.
Man, I mean, they bought party hats. They've got party favors. They've got, you know, the things that you blow and it makes that noise. It like unfurls. But
they
unfortunately,
partied too hard that first fight. They're all hungover. Couldn't join this one, but they're able to shove down this middle turret.
that's actually a really good counterattack by them. So you can see them move on in. The second, wow, just more turret pressure. The Vulcan really looking for more buildings to destroy.
Yep, it's pretty much been a story of demolition crews in this Super Wednesday. Everybody's kind of focusing on the PvE game and grabbing objectives over getting repeat kills.
ManCloud right across the wall here actually does spot Complexity. Look at the burst
Wow.
damage. MIA is not in a good place. Look at the burst. Oh, Smithy finds one. Zuna's going to find his demise, though. Can he find Laudamortis? He's chasing him down in Kog'Maw form. No, the flash from Laudamortis keeps him safe. Smithy trying to find Trooper. Does he have enough pressure, though? He has Lizard buff. One more strike, he'll pick that one up. Brunchu finding damage, has to eat out. He is afraid here. ManCloud shows up. What will his damage be? Actually pops a bit of damage there. Nick Wu's going to fall to Psycho Sid, though. Great pick up there by Elise. And that makes it a 3-for-1.
Yeah, and that top fight up there, I'm going to have to say, that was our Chuper blooper of this game because he did not have to keep going. He dove in solely onto Mandatory Cloud, got damaged by 3 people, and they had to actually retreat after that. A little bit of a misstep.
And Psycho Sid is a player that Vulcan had said was always consistent, where Smithy said, I never have to go to his lane. He will always win or go equal against every opponent. And in thinking back to Psycho Sid's play, I've never seen him lose lane.
I've been really impressed, especially with his Elise play. You know, last week I got extremely excited about that team fight they had bottom, but he just always seems to land these cocoons at the crucial moment, catching people out and setting up the rest of his team to capitalize on it.
And it's just a beautiful thing when, and this is kind of something we talked about with Vulcan before. You mentioned the tri-lane in their match against CLG, where they just let Smithy go to one lane over and over and over again. Psycho Sid is always able to go equal, and it just relieves so much pressure from them that they can only focus 2 lanes and get ManCloud and Zuna ahead. Now they're going for a little bit of a bait on this dragon. Thing is, they've got the wards cleared out. They're just waiting around for it. Thing is, I think they're spotted by that pink ward. Laudamortis going to face check into a ward. Look at the damage output. He's going to get dropped immediately. Zuna picks that one up. They're not going to keep going. It's a free dragon.
Gets killed at the middle of his flag toss. So sad. You can see him reaching out towards his own fountain. Can't get back to the base. That's going to mean a free dragon. Not even a chance to steal a smite because the jungler is dead.
Well, he'll get back to the base in about 10 seconds when he respawns.
There you go.
It's actually a bit of a shorter trip that way. If you let him kill you, you can get back to base sooner.
All planned. We do have the teleport to go shove this top turret, though. I like that call to answer back for the dragon. They get a little bit of global gold.
That is something that Complexity has done very, very well so far, of course, as well. Is like we saw them answer turrets over and over. Now, Mandatory Cloud, though, he's looking for pressure here. He's got 2 guys in his face, but the rest of Vulcan now in the mid lane, they're funding a turret, and no one's really here to stop them. Actually, okay, they will go stop. They get it back.
Muffin taking a lot of harass there just from Brunch. Zuna as well, taking a mystic shot in the back. And Laudamortis probably should stop chasing.
He has. He's you know, getting his health back up, checking potions to keep himself alive. Chuper regrouped in the mid lane. Complexity have tied up the turret score 2-2, despite being down 6 kills. As far as structures on the map, they have kept it tied.
The story here is Smithy getting so far ahead with all these killing blows that he got a very early locket, and that's a team-oriented item. So when they do have these 5-on-5 fights and everyone's joining with all their global ultimates, he can put that shield on all 5 members, and everyone really benefits from the extra gold that he's gotten from those kills.
All right, we can see him matching up against Laudamortis in the mid lane. Either actually looking for aggression right here, just kind of wave clearing back and forth. Mandatory Cloud's going to join up. There we go. The pressure onto Laudamortis. The gold card is going to land. Will they have enough damage to kill him before he can escape here? Shen ult goes off. That's going to force them to disengage, but that is a long cooldown forced away.
That is a huge tool that's down. That's a 200-second cooldown. Nick Wu down there shoving bottom is going to have to come back now because he does not have an escape of his own. He might even run into this 3-man blue stealing.
He did have to smite it away. Smithy was afraid of that Ezreal ult stealing it, well, stealing it, claiming it for the rightful team, and he grabs that one away with a smite. That is...
Can you steal what's already on your side of the map? I guess you can. Yes.
Yeah, they're trying to reclaim it.
That's true.
In the name of France or something. Here we go. A little bit of damage on a Brunchu. The card's coming out. Doing pretty nicely there. The rest of Vulcan, again, just looking for aggression. They are up 6 kills, but instead of like looking for champion kills, they're looking for objectives on the map. They're looking for things to claim and just take over and snowball themselves ahead. This time it is going to be a middle turret, but they've grabbed the Golem and Lizard buffs recently. Smithy in the front, taking a bit of punishment. There's the taunt. They go all in. The knock up into the air. Smithy going to knock them back as well. That'll be a safe disengage. No, he goes back in for Nick Wu. Gets found a little bit by Chuper, but he will live.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Smithy gets back in there to give him a stab of his own. Good answer, and they actually are going to keep sieging up this turret because it's really low.
It is. They're doing a lot of great damage to it. They've got a number of long-range champions. Here we go. The group is here. A little bit of punishment. They don't have Smithy with them. He's back in the base, but
neither is Brunch.
Well, yeah, it's fair, actually. Brunch is up at the top lane. This turret, there we go. Zuna has picked it up. 3-2 in turrets. 6,000 gold lead.
They just decided to give up that turret. Brunch just went up to farm that top lane. They didn't want to even contest that one. So I don't know why all 4 members were standing around it.
They're trying. Well, Mandatory Cloud, of course, on the blue buff himself. The jungle is like totally Vulcan. This is like they are in complete control of these neutral monsters. They just stole the blue away. They've gotten their own. They've gotten their own red. We saw earlier the red steal from Smithy. I think it's coming up soon, unless I missed the respawn a little while ago. And, I mean, they are just completely strangling this map right now.
Yeah, Mandatory Cloud also has a fully stacked Seeker's Arm Guard. I like that he is going with that build, too, because we've seen, it's been telling of the TFs that were successful are usually the ones who rush the Zhonya's Hourglass or get it second. So he's got the Sheen. That's a not quite a Lich Bane, but that's good enough. You get plenty of tower damage with that, and then you get the defensive stats of that Zhonya's Hourglass, just opening up so many more plays.
It's a really, really great build from him, and now we're seeing Vulcan just still on the aggression with only 2 guys up here. They're still looking for fights way on the enemy side of the map. Like I said, might have been up more than he can chew. He's in a spider form, and here comes the knock-up. So much damage coming out. The ult as well, and here we go. The teleport. Is it going to come in from Mandatory Cloud? It's not. Oh, Psycho Sid with a great flash, but it's not going to be enough for him. He's going to fall on down. Destiny has ended and no teleport came in, but they did dive a turret in the mid lane. Zuna and ManCloud find that one. Actually, that might be where he teleported, actually. But is Loud Mortis now in the mix of things. He's taking damage from Muffin Cutie. Trying to find that one back. Stun from MIA. Ult popped by Muffin Cutie. A little bit of damage into him, but that ult going to make him too tanky for anything back here. This looks Smithy going to look for Loud Mortis. He is still chasing into the brush. Looking for a bit of punishment. He is still going in for the knockup. Is he going to find anything?
5 seconds on Shen's ultimate right now. If they do want to chase, they could come in with another member. They don't want to.
No, it looks like it's not going to be the case here. So enough ability power now in Mandatory Cloud that he is one-shotting the caster minions with Wild Card. A nice breakpoint on the wave clear for him. Smithy with ward coverage. Really on both sides, though, ward coverage over the Lizard buff. And here comes the teleport in. It's going to be Chuper looking for something. Can they find it? Nick Wu is right there. Is the taunt up? He's just not going to go for it, of course. There's tanky members right there. He's afraid of them.
Good flash right there from Smithy getting out of the way of Nick's taunt.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
Yeah, he burned that flash very quickly. It would have been a hit taunt, and that would have been a catch. I'm not sure if they would have been able to clean that up, but they definitely had the numbers because Zuna's bottom. So good job by him, and now they're actually going to turn this around, shove middle with only 3 people.
It's kind of been the story of that team is they never actually quite push with 5, but they push with, you know, a low-digit number you can count on one hand, and as though any team of League of Legends could, whatever. If Mordekaiser, you can push with 6.
There you go.
They did not have Mordekaiser, only a 5 or less man push.
I knew there was a save there somewhere.
I got it, guys. Don't worry. I'm never wrong about anything. Anyway, Complexity trying to keep their turret alive up in this mid lane. Doing a pretty good job of it so far. Chuper farming up. Getting himself some gold. But the thing is, he's down 90 to 123 in minions. FQD forced to run away, but Zuna is around. There's a bit of damage in this team available.
Yeah, Nick Wu's getting some free damage on Smithy here. They do decide to fight.
Yeah, they go in on MIA. There's the Destiny being brought in. Mandatory Cloud just kind of revealing with that one. Lattimore is so dangerously low, but they're not quite going to find that kill. Zuna gets opened in upon. Exhausty cleanses both summoner spells off on him. And there we go. MIA still dropped low. Smithy dropped low. Ult from Zuna almost finds it. Shut down there from Shen, but they've traded back on the Diana. Ezra ult Prunchu was perfectly safe, and he finds Zuna. He's going to push on a Muffin Cutie. Muffin Cutie flashing away with red buff on him. Prunchu finds it. That's a good equalize right there. Only 1 down. They picked up 3 kills. Prunchu with a double kill, and now they go for the dragon.
Vulcan almost won that fight with only 4 members, but they weren't able to finish off Lattimortis, and they weren't able to finish off that Taric. MIA also surviving. Lattimortis flashed the Acathian surprise there also by Zuna, so he still was able to add to that team fight even though he had gotten chunked out so low at the beginning. And you can see the difference right there. Smithy has a full Giant's Belt over Lattimortis. They basically had the same build right there for that fight, except for a huge HP bonus from that Giant's Belt. Now he's even picking up an Oracle's Elixir for himself.
Yeah, but those power and numbers, you just saw what it meant for that fight. You know, you mentioned it was a 4-on-5, and it's a little worrisome for Vulcan. I mean, I think it's worrisome that they can't win a 4-on-5, but like if they make those moves over and over, I mean, Complexity is a team that can catch people. They've got Teleport, they've got a Shen, and Brunch U, he's always been putting up good numbers for that team so far. He's 5-2-3 with the most minion kills in the game.
That was definitely a small throw right there. Complexity will take anything they can get at this point. It was a huge step in the comeback because they also were able to get that dragon off of this. Now the only place to clear out for Smithy with this Oracles would be the Baron, but it's a bit too early for them to start it. They do have very good percentage damage with Elise though, which means they always have the threat of that. If they're able to grab a kill or something on the map, they could retreat over there.
And actually I want to point out that Zuna grabbed up Distortion Boots really fast on Kog'Maw. I'm guessing to be able to, I mean, obviously to get the flash cooldown up faster, pretty much so that he can get away from Loud and Mortis a little bit more. Zuna grabbing his Lizard buff for now the second time in a row. Smithy really playing aggressively, going to clear out this ward in the brush. Yeah, map control is just Vulcan's game right now, really trying to wrest control of vision.
Yeah, he wants just a little bit more mobility. Having Alistar on your team is great. He's a perfect bodyguard. You've got 2 answers for divers, but Diana just does so well sucking everyone in there, and if you get caught with that plus a Shen on her plus the Jarvan Cataclysm, he definitely needs to be able to flash over those Cataclysm walls when he does get caught.
Alright, we'll see that ends up being the case here. The flash is back up. The cooldown, of course, much lower thanks to the Distortion rune picked up there. Vulcan, they are going to start up on Baron, or not. I mean, they started and they run away immediately. It's kind of a false start.
Yeah,
you gotta start the heat again.
It does a lot of damage compared to how strong the champions are right now because it's still fairly early in the game, but we do have the Zhonya's Hourglass completed by Mandatory Cloud, and he could start making some interesting plays here like we've seen Jackie display earlier in the day with those canceling his ultimate or even ultimating in, then using it. Here we go.
Oh, beam me up, Scotty. Teleport coming in. They're going to find one right there. Loud and Mortis and MIA taking a bit of punishment, but ManCloud totally alone right there.
He didn't have to pop it though. He still has the active ready.
What? No, the what? Which one?
Mandatory Cloud.
His ult?
His Zhonya's.
Oh yeah. He was safe otherwise from the Zhonya's. Ward control, of course, still here for Vulcan. Brunch U trying to poke in blind into the darkness, not landing quite a whole lot. Flag comes down from Loud and Mortis, gets a little bit of vision. You can see they've got not too much vision for themselves. Smithy just walking around a little bit.
Now the global advantage is actually in Complexity's hand for one point in the game. I mean, Nick Wu's fine to split push right now. He's got his ultimate up. Chuper also has teleport, so they can move around, and they need to start getting some objectives because there's no other way to claw back this gold lead unless Vulcan are going to make some weird tower dive and just make a huge mistake that would be.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the 4v5 dragon fight. Certainly, you know, one thing we sort of talked about with I wouldn't say, I guess in this case it is kind of one of the newer teams in the LCS, that they just tend to not have that same late game power that other teams do. You saw how long CLG held on against Marn, and I think this has got to be a possible situation here. You know, we'll see what ends up happening. Of course, Vulcan with an early lead. You're seeing 5,000 gold up. Game 10 of 12 on the day so far. Vulcan are looking to grab their 4th win of the season. If they can grab this one against Complexity, certainly in the lead.
Yeah, it seems like Vulcan are just waiting for that dragon to come up as Mandatory Cloud is going to get soloed here.
Yeah, he puts on the barrier, trying to run away from Chuper. What's he going to go for? The wild card's going off. He's trying to run flash in from Chuper. Oh, the Zhonya's keeps him alive, and here comes Smithy. Is it going to be enough damage? No, the Channel comes in. So much help from all sides. Another flash from ManCloud still keeps him alive, and they find Chuper. Nick Wu fails to flash over the wall, and the gold card locks him up. Ignite is enough at least, but it's a 2-for-1.
Oh, Mandatory Cloud with the jukes. At least they are able to get 2 kills for 1 out of that. Zhonya is so important as they go in on Brunch as well.
Thankfully, he is Ezreal and just Arcane shifts away, but that is a great place to be in. If you are Vulcan, you've kind of pushed the team down. You're up 4-3 on the map right now, and you've got minions coming in to push down this turret.
So even though Ezreal's more fed and he has more kills than Kog'Maw, there's a big difference in power because Kog'Maw went with the Infinity Edge, whereas Ezreal just went with the Bloodthirster, and now they stunned up Smithy.
He's got a lot of damage onto him. He's popped all the shields on himself. There we go. A little bit of pain on all sides. Loud and Mortis getting chunked down. Zuna picks that up despite the exhaust. Will they keep going on in? Chuper is in from the side. He finds Smithy. A lot of damage there. Brunch U grabs the kill. There's a stun onto Zuna. He's forced to cleanse it away. Will the team keep chasing down? They've traded 1 for 1. Both junglers dead. Complexity not going to keep chasing.
Loud and Mortis is a poor man. He's been starved all game, still hasn't been able to pick up a big health boost. As I was saying before, it used to be the difference of a Giant's Belt health between him and Jin Zhao. Now it's a full Warmog's difference.
That is pretty brutal. He's at 5,200 gold, poorer than any other member on Vulcan, nearly tied with his support there, MIA. Certainly, I mean, Lattimortis has a ton of assists, but he is a very poor guy.
When you're a melee champion, you really, you basically, okay, so it's the definition of a melee champion, you have to get in their melee range. And if you don't, there you go, if you don't have any health, it makes it very difficult. He's done a decent job of actually baiting around and using his flash and his gap closers, but at some point, you're going to have to build that. He needs to get the gold there. He's actually used some of it to get the beginnings of an Aegis of the Legion, and Mandatory Cloud caught again.
Oh, so much damage onto him, but he gets the stun back, and Muffin Cutie shows up as the bodyguard. Does keep his teammate alive, and actually they layered the stuns there. The Shadow Dash landed at the same time as the Dazzle from Tarek, so they kind of layered that a little bit too much. Vulcan regrouping in mid lane. Of course, ManCloud, yeah, he's a little bit hurt in health, and he went back to the base to heal, but generally speaking, Vulcan are in a pretty good spot.
And those glowing purple spheres on Mandatory Cloud's hands means that he's completed his Lich Bane, and he will be able to destroy towers at will.
But did he buy two?
Yeah, that's been a folly a lot here. As they go into Lattimortis again.
Beautiful initiation. He has dropped down immediately. No ult able to be used by him. The push still in. A nice pull by Trooper. Can they get any damage? A nice taunt. Dragon actually goes down. Everyone is low on health. MAA tanked that up completely and is now low, but getting out. Xmithy taking punishment. There's a kill picked up for Trooper. Where are they going to go for next? It's Zuna and ManCloud. Low on health. Psycho Sid barely clawing his way out as well. There's another fight going just +1 here for Complexity.
Yeah, so they actually lost that team fight out because Zuna decided to stay and fight and finish off the Dragon.
Yeah.
He wasn't shooting any members of Complexity, and the damage discrepancy right there just cost them an extra kill.
That is an interesting thing to choose because you consider Dragon worth 2 champion kills in terms of gold, but like the map presence right here, you're seeing Complexity with control. Oh, it forces a flash away from Zuna. Chuber, who's he going to go in? He is! He pulls in, gets the Shen ult as well. One more ult, he's going to find that. Now with ManCloud with a beautiful Zhonya's Hourglass, will he stay alive? And he gets pushed out of the base, Nick Wu. So they actually trade 1 for 1 though as Kog'Maw picks it up, and now Psycho Sid is looking for something. A giant heal on a Brunch U. He's a little bit overextended now. He's not liking his fate either. Flashes away. What are they going to find? Damage on a Brunch U. He's been slowed down. Will they find anything else? Muffin Cutie leading the charge. Psycho Sid nearby as well. Are they going to find anything? Lattimortis says, hey, get away from my homies. And they say, okay.
I like that chase from Sid. That would have been a good chase, but Muffin was going the opposite way around the trees, and so he wasn't there to back up the Spider. They didn't have the 2 versus 3 that could have turned it in their favor, and Psycho has to back off. They aren't able to follow that up with any extra kills.
Man, and this game is like neck and neck. Like, you can see a kill lead, you see a gold lead, you see, like, by all the metrics at the top of the screen, you think Vulcan's winning by a lot. But as far as the gameplay is considered, it just feels so close. These guys are trading fights back and forth. The battles, it's just an absolute bloodbath, slaughterfest. Like one of the maps, I don't remember the game unfortunately, one of the games we saw last week where it was actually involved Complexity, I think versus GGU, where it was just kill after kill after kill after kill, trading fights back and forth, and it feels like that again.
It does feel like that, but some huge items being completed now for Vulcan means that for the next team fight, Psycho's going to have that Liandry's and Rylai's Crystal Scepter combo, which is so potent on mages. He's going to have a lot more damage to bring down those high HP targets like Nick Wu, who have been stacking just health, and he can bring them down for the beginning of the fight, just get them kind of low, and everybody do a lot more current health percentage damage.
That's going to be an interesting thing here. Of course, his health is being bought up a fair bit. Trinity Force has been completed for Brunch U, so by at least my metrics, he is significantly far ahead of everyone else in this game. But Vulcan are looking for a push despite the ominous item buy. We'll see what ends up happening here. They've got 5 members in that mid lane. We've seen them group up so much in this game, and there's the pressure on the turret. We've got to be a little bit afraid of Lattimortis. He could always flag, Q himself back into that fight. We have not take. Oh wow, the damage on the MIA, and Lattimortis is going to go, and he immediately ults up onto Zuna. A lot of damage up on this mix. Everyone is on top of each other, but Lattimortis just keeps dying first in these fights over and over. Mandatory Cloud push back. Zuna is safe. Who is he going to find to push next? His W is down for the next few seconds, but they've now got just rain over this turret. Yes, that's going to be there. Psycho Sid taking some turret aggro, but he's going to be fine. Vulcan wins that one.
So Zuna's flash was down for that, and Lattimortis went in. He had Shen to back him up, so they had 2 diving, but Diana was not able to complete that dive onto Zuna. He didn't even take very much damage inside of that Cataclysm. He was fine.
Oh my gosh, he's actually going to go back in on a Trooper, though. The flash from Xmithy but a disengage. No, Muffin Cutie's going to go in. They just keep going in and out, back and forth, back and forth. 5v4 in this fight. NickWoo tries to find something. A great Voidoo stops that one, though. MIA not going to find a stun. They're going to be stopped again.
Yeah, great defensive use with that Void Ooze. And we do have the combination Infinity Edge plus Phantom Dancer, just allowing Kog'Maw to do so much damage from the back. Now his flash is back up because of the distortion boots, and the next fight will be even easier for them. Complexity really has to coordinate their dive, because if they can take out that Kog'Maw, it will be a huge boon to their team fight, but they have to have all three members. We just saw that Jarvan and Shen can't do it alone.
No, not at all, really. Now, finally, Shen's ult is back up. That will help that dive a little bit. Loud Mortis, you just keep seeing him take damage over and over. Like, he's trying to get resists and stack the shields on top of him. Not working just yet. You're seeing actually a lot of deaths on those frontline champions. 5 onto Loud Mortis, 6 onto Chuper. And the thing is, normally you consider like guys with a lot of deaths to be not worth much gold, but assists kind of bring you back up close to worth 300. So even though they're on death streaks, they're actually still giving a lot of gold back out to the team. Complexity grabbing up blue buff for themselves. Chuper finally actually able to control his jungle. Loud Mortis actually has really gotten control back.
Yeah, the best case scenario here would be a Loud Mortis initiate with the Shen ultimate on top of him for the beginning, because he's got decent resistances right now. He just doesn't have health to back that up. So if he has that extra shield from Shen, it's kind of going to replace the need for the health building.
All right, we can see now Vulcan grouping up around the Baron pit right here. They sweep that ward out. 27 gold up on a Muffin Cutie for last hitting that ward. All 5 of them are right here. Thing is, Complexity knows they are around, but with no ward. Oh, no, now they spot Vulcan. They know it's a bait. There's nothing being grabbed here. Muffin Cutie's not going to sweep that one out, but they're going to run back up there. NickWoo has ult, is split pushing bottom. That's what they're going to go for. They start up on Baron.
NickWoo doing a good job. That's exactly what you need to with Shen. The vision from Flag Toss is going to let them know that they have to join this soon if they want to contest.
Another ward goes down. They put a little bit of damage in from Chuper. A nice Void Ooze comes out. They're actually going to disengage pretty much here. They're kind of mixing and matching a little bit. A turret goes down. They go back in towards Baron. They're just kind of splitting their engagement again. Chuper going down to half health. Who's going to go in for the fight? They go back in for Baron. The smite's going to go for the blue team. Vulcan picks it up. Where's the damage up? It's on Azuna. Zuna's so low on health. NickWoo's going to find him. That's a kill picked up. But are their health bars too low? Loud Mortis up in the fray. Psycho Sid low. Psycho Sid flashes out successfully. MIA and Chuper still here. They've traded 1 for 1 so far. Xmithy taking damage. A beautiful taunt lands on a 2. They find ManCloud. They're going to trade 1 back, but now they find Xmithy, and it's 3 for 2 in that fight, despite the Baron pickup.
Wow. So they get the Shen ultimate, but they lose 3 members that had Baron. They're probably going to lose this middle turret as well. It's a fairly even trade here, depending on how much damage they can get on this inhibitor turret. Psycho Sid with Baron buff should be able to defend it pretty well, though.
Yeah, he's definitely a tanky man right here and kind of blocking things out. Look at the damage, though. The turret is dropping so fast, and the Sun on the Brunch, he has to cleanse it away. He eased back. He's going to be alive. And
oh, I wish you would have followed that up. Sid, he has no mana. You should just destroy that Ezreal, please.
Wow, you don't like Ezreal very much, do you? Destroy the Ezreal!
Destroy the Ezreal, he's out of mana. And we had the Diana down bottom. She could not lend any help, but he pulls back, plays it a little safe. They don't want to give up anything here.
And speaking of giving things up, I mean, Complexity, they lost Baron, but they picked up 2.5 turrets, +1 kills, and a dragon.
Yeah.
Baron's nice, but that's way more than Baron.
Really, to make it worth it, Vulcan's going to have to make something happen with the 2 Baron buffs that they still have left. One of them really, really powerful on Psycho Sid. The one on Muffin QT will help a little bit, but mostly he's using his abilities for zoning and protecting that Kog'Maw, whose Flash and Cleanse are both down right now.
He's got to wait a little bit of time for those to come back. Of course, Zuna trying to restack himself at this bottom lane. At least his Flash, again, it's going to come up fairly soon with Distortion. He's at 3-item Kog'Maw right now, but he's up against 3-item Ezreal. He's also got himself Furor boots with a lot of kiting. Let's recap the rest of the items, though. These guys are getting into late game builds. Who's got the cool items here?
Well, I have to say, Ezreal also getting a decent amount of HP, because the Training Force adds some. He also picked up a Giant's Belt, and he's already slippery with that Arcane Shift that he's not going to have to worry too much. So that frees up their front line into diving this Kog'Maw. Because Ezreal built the defensively like that, he kind of gives the edge to his front line.
Alrighty, we're going to see how those front lines can pan out. Of course, Zhonya's being scattered across both teams here, really trying to use them to keep the mages alive. Brunch U, I mean, he is having an awesome game, right? You mentioned all his great items. He's 8-2 and 7. Really the most standout score I can see on the board right here. So a lot of props to him for keeping his team alive. They're down 4 kills, but he's been in 15 of his team's 16 kills. Yeah,
and it's really going to be a lot on those cocoons from Psycho Sid. They need to stack up the stuns because they have the Muffin QT knockup and the mandatory cloud stun, but they are going to have to land that other skill shot for the third one there to be able to land these kills. They don't have many other ways of holding people in place for Kog'Maw to be able to do damage. They have to have the Kog'Maw free and auto attacking from the back line to finish this one.
All right, well, we can see if they can get enough damage for that. Once again, these teams are grouping up in the mid lane, and you mentioned it a while ago, the split push from Shen, so valuable, and you're seeing it here. Nick Wu down to the bottom lane once again. He is on fire, both literally and figuratively. He's doing a great job with himself, a lot of health on his items, the Wit's End as well for attack speed, and he's just causing the team to come down and stop him over and over and over again.
He's a lot more flashy on his Zed play, and he wins his lane really hard with Zed play, but his end game with Shen it seems to be a lot stronger. I mean, even sometimes when he gets ahead with Zed, they still end up losing those games. When he's Shen, they always have this in their back pocket. He just calmly split pushes the bottom, and like we saw before, joined that fight at Baron. Though they did lose out on that Smite Wars, they came out ahead in kills.
Well, Psycho Sid going for a flank on a Nick Wu. Is it going to be enough damage? The Q goes off. It's a slow. He puts in the volatile Spiderling, goes into melee for him. Ooh, the ult coming in. Beam me up, Scotty, because here comes the teleport, and Zuna's going to make that a 1 versus 3. Nick Wu's got nowhere to go. Shutdown coming in for Mandatory Cloud.
Just talked about his great late game there, split pushing. When you're split pushing like that, you still have to ward deep into the jungle because you can get caught out. I mean, especially Hotside, I have to say, he's been given so much flack for getting caught out like that, but it happens to a lot of people. Like we just saw having to sit here too. It's kind of hard. You have to buy a lot of wards and bring them with you. And since Elise built that Liandry, she has a great percentage damage. She can deal with this very high health Shen quite easily.
Exactly. With those wards and items, it's really given Vulcan a death grip sort of on this map right here.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Got him going. And yeah, Vulcan +5 in kills here, still plus 6,000 gold as well. Right, these guys are trading back and forth, but there is a very real advantage here onto this Vulcan team. Smithy just, stealing away the minor buffs, or the minor lizards there at the Golem camp. They're going to recall back. Baron's in only 2 minutes. That's going to be probably the next standoff here.
Interesting that Muffin QT's gone with the Zeke's Herald just to get that third aura for his team for stronger team fights. Even though it's not, they don't have like an extra AD heavy team. I mean, Psycho Sid won't benefit too much from that, a little bit. The extra is decent for Mandatory Cloud, but mostly it's for Smithy and Zuna. They really want to get that Kog'Maw as much help as he can get.
Well, exactly, because you've seen those assassins come in, and Zeke's came in at the same time that Zuna built his own Vampiric Scepter.
Yeah, so he just got a huge amount of sustain. They initiate from the TF.
All right, they're going to go on to Ladamortis. A lot of damage there. Teleport coming in from Chuper as well. Where it's going to be. Ladamortis tanks it through. He can no longer die first anymore. He's going to go right in onto this team. Ladamortis taking a bunch of pain, and Smithy just really wants to get him first. MAA tanks it out, flashes away. ManCloud says, nope, you're still going to die. The magic burst, gigantic. Nick Wu goes back in onto Zuna, but he is alone for that one. Elise pops up in the air. Another kill coming down. There it is. Brunch getting targeted by Psycho Sid. He's alone, one-on-one. Where's the damage going to be? Misses the cocoon, but Mandatory Cloud flashes in. Triple kill for him. Nick Wu now alone, running away, but the team doesn't care. Vulcan, they are 5-on-1 on the map, and they've got control over the base.
Zuna was actually fine in that fight, and Muffin QT was headbutting people away from Smithy, who had just seen blood, and he went in there over and over, tanked up so much damage that he had to headbutt Nick Wu out of the fight. Nick Wu goes to the back. He's the last man standing. It does not look good for these Nexus turrets.
No, it's a pretty happy place for them right now. Vulcan going in for their second. Still the death timers waiting around for the team to go back up. It's a desperation save here from Nick Wu. He's drawing the team back, actually, but the turret goes down. Will they will not go for the Nexus, actually. The heroics there actually keep their base alive. Yeah, home guard rocket boots. Smithy getting a little bit caught out there trying to fight Nick Wu, but Complexity's base is alive here.
They pull it safe. Vulcan don't want to throw this one away. They know they have a huge advantage after going so deep into the base, and they need to go back and spend all that money that they just earned. The home guard boots are a really nice addition. I have to say, it makes this exact situation possible.
It is a fitting name. They have guarded their home with the home guard. I don't even know. That's not even a funny joke. Complexity gonna make their way.
Literally, that's just the name of it.
It's literally what it does. Good job, Freak. You can read. Mandatory Cloud going back up to his blue buff right here. He's got one of his own from the kill he got earlier in that prior fight. But actually the team, Complexity, yes, they're going for a comeback Baron. Can they get it? The wild cards, they hit Nick Wu pretty hard. His team not ready yet to stop this one. Is it going to be enough? MIA dropped dangerously low. He's got to be a bit careful here. The Baron now down below at third health. ManCloud really goes in. What can he find? Not quite a kill just yet. Oh, it gets smited away. Xmithie picks it up, and here comes the counterattack team fight. 1, 2, 3 kills picked up. That is not a good place to be if you are Complexity. Vulcan will go for the kill.
Xmithie with another smite steal, or I guess the first one wasn't a steal, but we see the Power Ranger cameras down there for both teams, so you know what that means. They're looking for the Nexus.
There we go, man. Vulcan just moving themselves on forward. Just minions separate themselves from the Nexus, and here we go. Ward's getting dropped down by Muffin Cutie. The Nexus, it's going to go down. Vulcan looking for their 4th win of the LCS, and that's going to be theirs. They've gotten it.
GG Vulcan.